Good morning. I'm starting my journey today. I'm going to be traveling up to Vermont. It's going to take a couple of days, and I'm going to be traveling what I call the Western route. So I'm going to be traveling through the mountains. I'm going to be traveling through North Carolina, Virginia, Pennsylvania, but all along the west before I finally hit a bit east and go into Vermont. The temperature right now is 82 degrees, and it's scheduled to be in the 90s today in southern Georgia, but we shall see what I'm heading towards, and hopefully all will go well. So I'm in South Carolina, and this is kind of a typical southern town, so I thought I would show it to you all. There's railroad tracks, and people come over the railroad tracks, and there's these little stores. Very typical. I think it's interesting that there's their public library. Stopped at a rest stop. I have made it out of Georgia and through most of South Carolina and am heading quickly towards North Carolina. I'm gonna drive through Charlotte. So I've started the part of the trip where I'm on highways instead of back roads, out of kind of the more rural areas for now, and heading towards the mountains, which I will be in the mountains pretty much for a long time. And right now I've been driving since 6 and it is 9:45. So I just stopped at a rest stop. I'm at a rest stop and went to the bathroom, got myself a cold drink, so switched from coffee to cold drinks. And I am off for my next part of my adventure. Obviously, I have made it to Virginia, and I'm also up in the mountains, which is such a lovely thing and a big change from southeast Georgia. So I've made it through Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and now I'm in Virginia. And we'll see if I make it to Pennsylvania tonight or end up staying here in Virginia. Day 1, travels with Nana. So I made it to Virginia, and this is a map of Virginia. And I am somewhere around here, off of Route 81 at a rest stop near Christiansburg. And as you can see, 81 goes a long way. I'm heading towards Roanoke now. And I'm hoping to stop. There's Harrisonburg. I've stopped there before. Anyway, this is kind of 81, what's left of it. My GPS is taking me to, where is my GPS taking me to? I'm getting tired. Somewhere around here, Winchester. Hopefully I'll make it up to Winchester Winchester, but I am willing to stop earlier if I need to. Hey there, safely made it to a town called Middletown, Virginia, which is in western Virginia in the mountains in the Shenandoah Valley area. Just checked in. It is almost 6 o'clock, so I had almost a 12-hour day of driving with some stops at rest areas and gas stations and some stretching. But I'm glad to be here. It has started to rain and the temperature has dropped. It is probably around 60 degrees right now at 5 o'clock. So I'm going to be heading into some really cold weather in Vermont. Highs, I think, in the low 50s tomorrow night. And as much as this isn't really much of a hotel, it is a lot more of a shelter that I'm going to have for tomorrow night. So I'm grateful for it and grateful to have safely made it on day one. More information to come. Good morning and welcome to day two. I am in northwestern Virginia. It is 5:09 and the temperature is 58 degrees. It's going to get a lot colder as I move north. I'm in northwestern Virginia, just south of Harrisonburg. Anyway, I'm going to be heading to Vermont today. So far, I've done 589 miles, and I will complete my journey at some point this afternoon. It is day two of Travels with Nana, heading to New England for my granddaughter's birthday. Driving down the highway on this long journey north, and I was thinking about the struggles that I've been through in my life and how I've dealt with them. And I've had a couple of strategies that I've used in the past. One strategy is to reframe things, to find a way to look at the positives. So usually if I have a struggle in my life, I've learned something from it. So what are those lessons? Or, I made it through, whatever it is, like reframing the same situation to look at it in a more positive way. And then another strategy that I've used is to have gratitude, like to have these experiences, but then say, okay, so there's that, but there's also very positive things to look at. A beautiful sunrise, warm weather, warm fleece, the color teal, right? There's always something that helps me to kind of look at those things instead of the struggles. But I was recently learned something new, and it's beautifully encapsulated in a poem by Rumi called The Guest House, which obviously I'm not going to read as I'm barreling down the highway. But the idea of it is that rather than pushing away the negative things, to invite them into your metaphorical house, to invite them in and sit them down and say, hey, you're there, anger, you're there, frustration, you're there, fear. Welcome in, sit down, have a cup of tea, how you doing? And have a conversation with those bad feelings and help them to heal and allow them to be present and honor them the same way you would honor a guest in your house. And I just love that idea. So the next time I am faced with some kind of stress or strain or anger or fear or whatever in my life, I'm going to give that a try. Welcome in, fear. Sit down, have a cup of tea. Let's talk. And that's my Nana piece of ponderance for today.
The Guest House by Rumi. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond.